Well, hello friends, and welcome to the Pirate Round. Now, I'll be Captain Skultopus, and this be the Scarlet Raven. And as we do every episode of the Pirate Round, we open it with a toast to our friends. Those who are here, those who are not here, those who have passed along, those who have gone their own way, those who we wish were here, and
those we've yet to meet.
Those who we've yet to meet. And we say to you, to our friends who we value greatly, Yar har.
Oh, so good.
Burns like the devil.
I want to say real quickly that the captain and I are planning on going to the Northwest Pirate Festival in Lacey, Washington. So hopefully you'll be going yourselves and you find us and say hello and yar har to us.
Now, Scarlet Raven, when I say to you, poor unfortunate fools, who would I be talking about?
Oh, well, maybe somebody named Dog.
Well, perhaps. But I'll say to you now, poor unfortunate fools are those people in the world who do not like Cutthroat Island.
Now, Cutthroat Island really has kind of a bad rap. And, I can understand why it got a bad rap.
Why?
Well, they dumped so much money to make this movie. And then they didn't promote it very well.
Well, that's the problem.
And that kind of killed it.
That's true.
But, as far as pirate movies go, I don't rate it that bad. It's quite a fun adventure. Great, granted, the acting is not the best. But it is full of action.
It is.
And it is quite fun.
That is true.
And I've seen this movie many times. We recently decided to pick this up because, well, it's a pirate movie and you got to have it in your collection.
True.
I've seen far worse, by the way.
Well, I have too. And now, as we all know amongst ourselves as pirates, you can divide your pirate friends into two sorts of categories: those who like Cutthroat Island and those who dislike it. And I have to say that having seen it a few times, I like it. It's a very beautifully filmed movie with great cinematography, very clear, very precise sort of filming, majestic landscapes, beautiful seascapes, jungles and beaches and islands and
horses
ships.
running through deep water, which
horses running. We know that's
we
know that's quite difficult to make a horse to gallop through deep water. It stars Geena Davis and Mathew Modine. Now, Geena Davis
and Frank
Langella as Dog Brown. Now, Geena Davis plays Morgan Brown.
Morgan Adams.
Morgan Adams. Well, now, why is her uncle named Dog Brown, but yet her name is Morgan Adams?
Maybe it's her mother.
Anyway, now we end up with these characters, and we have Mathew Modine, of course, as William Shaw, a sort of rogue type who masquerades as a surgeon, and who likes to steal baubles from ladies as he dances with them. And they all meet together to discover the treasure buried on Cutthroat Island and try to take it away from Dog Brown, who is the evil character played by Frank Langella, and what he considers to be one of the funnest roles he's ever played. And to get the treasure away from him and to live happily ever after until they make a sequel, which they never made.
The famous words of Dog Brown, "I love doing this!"
Arr! He had some great lines in there. One, of course, is, "You killed my brother." He said that too. And one of the things I've always liked about Cutthroat Island, I've always been a fan of the old pirate movies with Errol Flynn and Maureen O'Hara and the like, and Charles Newton and the like. And this sort of harkens back to those
I would even say that Mathew Modine is even trying to emulate Errol Flynn a little bit in Captain Blood and the way his look is.
True. Now, to be honest, one of the problems we've got with a modern film in general, and this movie specifically, is we don't have great actresses such as Maureen O'Hara acting anymore. those actresses had fantastic delivery with their lines. Strong, straightforward, powerful delivery.
And I believe she had her own pirate movie.
She did, Against All Flags, I think.
Yes.
A great film. And Mathew Modine, although I like him quite a bit as an actor, his stage presence, his screen presence is not quite up to, say, a Robert Mitchum or a Kirk Douglas or any sort of thing. And in the old pirate films where you'd have actors such as that, who could project themselves on screen with a great deal of strength, and even though they had rather corny lines and so, it didn't matter so much because, they were there and they had the screen presence. Now this movie doth suffer a bit from a lack of screen presence. And there's the rather uncomfortable images of the monkey, which, now the monkey, of course, has been transferred from this film quite a bit forward into the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And those movies owe a great deal, I think, to this film.
That they do.
They do, for their imagery.
You have the carriage chase.
The carriage chase,
which,
lots of chase scenes.
Which is very much in some of the later Pirates of the Caribbean.
True. Lots of explosions.
The monkey.
The monkey.
The cinematic scenery of it.
True. All the characters and such of the piratey type characters. You have all the interesting sort of funny characters that you have in the Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got in there. You've got villains being other pirates, such as Captain Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean, and here it'd be Doc Brown. And you have the evil governor of Jamaica in this one, and you've got, of course, the bumbling
naval
officer in this one, and as you do in Pirates of the Caribbean. And so there's quite a bit, and I wonder if they didn't borrow quite a bit from this film, made, I think, about 10 years beforehand, so to say, and looked at it and said, well, there's a lot we could take from this movie and make it a little more interesting if we only market it away and market it in such a way that it would become more successful.
Now, I would also say that even Black Sails has taken a wee bit from this, because when they filmed this, they built a tank and they built the ships.
That's true.
Which is actually what Black Sails did on some of their sets, building big ships that they could use, have on gimbals. This one, it looks like they've actually built full-scale ships and then blew them up.
It blew one of them up, yeah.
Which can explain some of the cost, that and exploding some of the sets and other things.
True. Now, you'll notice if you ever watch this film, there's a part where barrels explode and a giant keg comes down and smashes Mathew Modine in the head.
That's when they're in the Jamaica, I think it is.
Yeah, someplace in Jamaica. Yeah, well, it's in the Pirate Tavern, I think, with the exploding barrels.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, that happened to poor Mathew Modine, and that barrel really did conk him on the head, and they left that scene in the film. You'll see it, where it hits him on the head, and he stumbles away, and
he got quite a concussion.
Quite stunned, and he got a concussion from it. And I got to say, I've got a lot of respect for the guy to keep on acting, even though he's been hurt.
Geena Davis actually did quite a bit of her own stunts.
She did quite a bit of them, you can tell.
Quite admirable of her. Now, the other fun thing about this is, I have to admire as a female pirate myself.
True.
Is, you go out to places and you see female pirates and they're all winchy. And, I myself, I like to try and be more like Mary Read. I like to pass myself off, as maybe the male persuasion, but, I've got my...
Well, of course.
And, with Geena, she doesn't always run around in the her boobs hanging out and everything else. She dresses in very style clothing that a typical pirate might be dressing, even though it is fantasy-ish.
It is, but I've got to say, I noticed there last night when she would reach up to grab her pistol or her knife out of her stocking, that she would have to pull up 2 or 3 skirts that she had, underskirt and an overskirt and the like. And when you go to places and meet other pirates and you'll see quite a few of the pirate ladies walking around, you'll notice that many of them are wearing sometimes just even a little bit less than a handkerchief tied about themselves. And you're thinking, oh, such nice things to look at. But you're also thinking, oh my goodness, that's got nothing to do with pirates at all, but it's got an awful lot to do with Halloween.
But as long as they have fun, that's what's important.
And as long as they have fun, that's fine.
Pirates.
I'm not quite enjoying, I'm not quite, it sounds like I'm judging, but not quite a bit. And what I'm saying now is if you want to be a pirate and you want to dress like that, please be one and have as much fun as you possibly can. But for those of us who are interested more in the history of things, we like to be as authentic as we can in our choice of certain things that we have, and lanterns and weapons and kegs and telescopes and things like that.
Boarding axes.
Yeah, boarding axes, which we've got. And then choice of our crew, of course, which is very important. We have Gunner's Mate Squash right here, who's got his own boarding axe, and today he decided to wear his tricorn.
From Jocelyn Townsend.
From Jocelyn Townsend, a great makers of tricorns. And we have Katie Berry.
Oh, Anne Barney.
Anne Barney, pirate, who always looks as if she's going to rip your face off. We've got Polly Pirate, who lost an eye while chasing a pigeon around the rigging and ran into the yard arm.
After drinking too much rum.
Polly. We have Bill G, the guardian of the rum cask. What you say, Bill G? Oh yes. Okay, yeah, more rum for you. And then, of course, we have Captain Bartholomew Roberts, the bear pirate who started it all and who's most comfortable with his pistol and compass, so he knows where he's going. So, Scarlet Raven, if we're going to use rum casks as a measurement, now what would you give Cutthroat Island the Brewery?
Well, if Cutthroat Island was not a pirate movie, I'd probably get it 1.5, maybe 2. But being that it is a pirate movie, I will give it at least 3 casks, because it is fun, and the other movies, as we talked about, owe so much to this movie.
True. And you know what they say about pirates and pirate movies? Everything's better with pirates. So I would, if you're right, if it was not about pirates and it was just a swashbuckling film like Nathan Hayes or something like that.
But I'd rather like Nathan Hayes.
Oh, well, I do too. I would probably give it about 2 rum casks, mainly because of the rather limited delivery from the people. I want to say also, I noticed during the sword fights, they were using real metal swords, and you could hear the swords clanging against each other. They were really wailing hard with those swords back and forth. We know that movie swords typically are made out of aircraft aluminum, and so they're easy to wield. And if you strike someone with them, well, there's less chance of hurting them. But these actors were just wailing back and forth at each other with these swords, like hacking away like a tree with an axe. You could sure tell they were having a lot of fun making the film.
Unlike some swords you see in movies that go boing and then bounce back.
We all know we've seen those. I would give it 3 rum casks, just because it's got pirates in it.
So with that, Captain, I think it's time to wrap up yet another episode of the Pirate Round.
True.
We ask you to go down and subscribe. It'll be down there. And if you haven't gone out to our Facebook site, or if you come from the Facebook site, we appreciate it. And we hope that you spread the word like some of our fine crew have.
They have.
And a real quick shout out to Captain Turner for the very fine logo he has made us.
Thank you, Captain Turner. Very pleased with it, and hopefully it will be coming soon to everyone on a garment that anyone can purchase and wear proudly.
We're just still working on the design.
True. So we say to you now, friends, yar har, smooth sailing. This be the Pirate Round.
Always be a pirate.
Always be strong.
Never let anybody kick you into the seas.
Never let anyone grind you down.
Always be yourself, which is a pirate.
Which of course is a pirate. And remember this, friends, don't let anyone make you afraid. Always be strong, always be courageous, always be smart. Be the best that you can be, and don't take shite from no one, because you'll be a pirate and you don't have to do nothing like that. The only life that matters is the pirate life. Yar har,
Yar
on the
har,
Pirate
smooth
Round.
sailing.